Welcome to another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. I'm Kristen McCary, and I'm here with your host,
Janine Corcoran, broker for Corcoran Connect, a real estate company.
It is that time of the month again for a market report.
That's right, and happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Where's your pink?
I always wear black.
I usually wear green.
Yeah, that's right. It's Valentine's Day. I'm not ready.
I know.
I don't ever do anything anyway. I'm sure there's lots of fun things going on. But let's jump into what happened in January 2023 in our real estate market report.
So first we have 34769, which covers most of the downtown area. We had 13 homes that sold. 12 of them was single stories, and there was only one two-story, which is typical for that area. Our single stories came in at $239.76 price per square foot, and our only two-story came in at $146.38. So that was that's not bad. 13 in that area.
No, not at all. Nope. And month over month, your average price per square foot is up about 6%, 5.9%, and year over year, you're still up 14.4%. So that's compared to the January of 2022. So still looking good, but positive numbers in both areas. So
that's good.
The days to contract is now 51 days to contract is the average. Again, that's the average. It's not really. You know, there were a couple of highs, couple of lows, and then your days to close were 80. So
days to close is from the time they put it on the market, or the time they got a contract.
Time they put it on the market.
Okay.
Yep.
Until they actually close.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. So all in all, not too bad. Things are taking a little bit longer to go under contract, though, right?
Yeah. I usually tell sellers, depending on what market it is, I usually say expect 60 days, but sometimes, like I just had two properties. Both of them had multiple offers, which...
Right. Where'd that come from again?
Yeah. And then you have, I know, like the 55 and older, that's very slow right now. And that's their market right now. So, so that's a little just...
different. Because that's normally 55 and older, you would think that this would be a good time for sales.
Yeah, this is like our springtime.
Right,
yeah,
because
it's snowbirds.
Right. So
it's been a little slow. So we're watching that, and I don't know what's going on there other than that age group, which I'm in, by the way. So I'm not saying anything bad about anyone. They're just more cautious.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, maybe that bothers them with the interest rate and inflation.
Right. Absolutely.
So let's go on to 34772, where we had 34 homes that sold. We had 25 single stories and 9 two stories. The single stories came in at $232.34 per price per square foot, and the two stories came in at $181.37 price per square foot. How did that look compared to last year?
So month over month, we're up 1.6%, and year over year, funny enough, there was no change. It literally, if you average out the average, and not taking into account one story versus two story, you're at $218.99 a square foot total, and that was exactly the same as it was a year ago. So I actually ran it twice because I was like, oh, did I not update the year? I did update the year.
Oh, wow. So no change.
No change there. Yep. And your days to contract are 47.
Oh, wow.
And days to close 83. So very similar to 34769.
Interesting.
Yep.
So then we move on to 34773, which there is not a whole lot going on at all. So we had 7 homes that sold.
Yep.
And that includes Harmony. That includes all the way out to Hollowport, includes Bay Lake. I mean, there's a big area there. So we had 7 homes that sold. We don't include the condos, townhouses, or anything like that. But we had 6 single stories and 1 two-story. The single stories came in at $221.26 price per square foot, and the two-story came in at $262.59 price per square foot.
That's awesome. And so your month over month averages, again, it's really hard when you have such a small sample size, but month over month, you're up at about 24%. So again, that's just, I wouldn't put so much stock in that, because I think it's just, more of the kind of houses that sold. And year over year, you're at 4.4% up.
Okay.
An increase 4.4%. Your days to contract 18 and days to close is 76.
Oh, wow.
And when I do the days to contract and days to close, I only consider resales.
Right. Not
we
the new
exclude
build.
all the new builds because those always have wonky numbers. Sometimes it's like negative 283 days till contract. Like it's just the way it calculates it. It's not a great number to include. So we always exclude those when we talk
Makes
about
sense.
days to contract and days to close, which I'm sure that's what you guys want to hear about anyway is your resale market.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Who cares what the builder's doing? And then I think we might have skipped 34771.
I did. Hold on. I'm already on vacant land. I was like,
know.
and that's the most important one. I mean, not the most important one, but it's
It's
one
the
with
busiest one.
It's
It's
the
most sales.
Well, you go ahead and do that one because I have, for some reason, I'm not seeing it in my.
Okay. So for 34771, we had a total of 62 homes sold. There were 34 one-stories that came in at a price per square foot of $239.19, and a total of 28 two-stories that were came in at $191.10. Your month-over-month increase is 2.9%, so still things are still going up a little bit there, and year-over-year is 9.7%. Now in 34771, when you exclude the new construction, you actually had a lot longer days to contract at 84.
Oh, wow.
So 84 days to contract, 118 days to close. And I think part of that is probably because you are competing with some of the new builds. You know what I mean? I would think that you would sit on the market a little bit longer because if you take into account the entirety of the inventory in the area, resales and new construction, you know, it might take a little bit longer to sell and get the price that you're looking for. But overall, everything's still in a positive direction as in terms of increases month over month and year over year.
Right. Just sell as your house is sitting on the market a little bit longer. And then also we're seeing a lot more where the sellers are helping the buyers with their closing costs or buying down the rate. So that's just the market we're in right now.
Yep.
So let's move on to vacant land. And we only had 7 sales. And believe it or not, there aren't any big, giant developer purchases at all.
Nothing.
Yeah. So all of them were cash except for one, which was private lending. Our biggest sale was it was on Rambler, and it was listed at $235 and sold for $235, and it was 2.42 acres.
Yep.
So there's no
Nothing
big purchases.
I'm wondering if there's anything big left.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Did they take my advice and go out and buy it all up? Yeah, not much going on there.
No,
so,
not at all. Not at all.
Yeah.
So, well, good.
So let's we can go ahead and break out like we usually do. We'll break out Harmony. So what happened in Harmony?
So it's a little bit crazy because Harmony, Maine, only had 2 sales.
Wow.
That's it. So we have one in Ashley Park, which was a 2-bedroom condo.
Right.
And then we had one in your community, which is at the Enclaves.
Right.
That's it. Those 2. The one in Ashley Park sold for $178.57 a square foot, and the one single story that sold in your neighborhood came in at $220.36. Then there were 5 that sold in Harmony West. The average there was 2. They were all single stories, and the average was $213.18 a square price per square foot. So
Wow.
yeah. So really not
much.
Not much going on.
Not
so
much.
folks, if you have a resale, you want to sell, now's the time to do it because there's not much there at all.
Right. There's not much kind of moving right now. So that's crazy. So definitely things to, it's an interesting market we're in, but things are still selling. And so far, all of the month over month and year over year averages that I'm seeing are still all in the green, in the positive. So
Which is good.
Everything's kind of chugging along. It's just, I think we're just at a normal market where things sit a little bit longer.
Yep.
Just
be patient, help those buyers.
Yep. That'll make a huge difference. So I guess that's it for us this month.
That's it.
But thanks so much for joining us on another episode of Discover St. Cloud, Florida. You can find us where you find all your favorite podcasts. You can also check us out on
Facebook, Instagram,
YouTube.
YouTube.
If you ever have any comments or questions, suggestions for us, give us a call at
1-844 St. Cloud. That's STCLOUD.
or you can send us an email at discoverstcloud@gmail.com. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode.